Hi, welcome to VEDA, Vlog Every Day in August, number 7. 7th day of August. It says, review a book. I read bits and pieces of books, and I used to read more often. My mother somehow would always have something to say or do so that I couldn't read. Why? There was something, even my homework, she wouldn't let me read. So my mom, she can read, it's just that reading was not promoted in my household, which, weird. And my brother David, the one that's still alive, he reads a lot, you know. And he used to read all the, like, The Hobbit and the Silmarillion and all those books. And fantasy science fiction. And I also like fantasy science fiction, H.G. Wells books like The Time Machine and The Invisible Man and Sleeper Awakes. That's one of my favorites. Technically, I haven't read the whole thing. I read parts of it. Usually when I read stuff, I can remember where I stopped in the book and sometimes where I stopped on the page. But one book that I know I've read from front to back many times when I was 10 years old is Pippi Longstockings. Pippi Longstocking by Astrid Lindgren. Pippi Longstocking was this little girl, about the age that I was. So that's why I was very interested in this story. She was also a loner, which I was. She also was a tomboy, which I was, or am. And she had her own way of doing things, which I do. I mean, I can identify so much with it. She had a horse, and she had Mr. Nilsson, who was a little monkey. And she lived in a big house, Villa Villakula, in Sweden. Her neighbors were Annika and Tommy, that she would invite over for tea parties or whatever. And this little girl was strong as an ox. She could lift her horse up. And she had some wit to her. She would answer something in a way that was kind of snarky, but not snarky enough to be offended with. I'm saying this little girl was me. Thank you, Astrid Lindgren. Pippi Longstocking, my favorite book. They also had Pippi Goes to Sea, where she's in search of her long-lost father, Ephraim, who sailed out to sea and was lost, presumably. And the way she was able to do stuff is her father left behind a big chest of gold pieces, so that's how she was able to pay for things. So, but yeah, that's my book review. Not a very good one, is it? Upward and onward.